Alright, we are live. What's up, everyone? Hope the mic is not too horrible. I think the other day I put the mic too close to my mouth, and then this poor individual probably had his headphones on, and then the static and the voice just went off the charts. So, in this episode, I'm going to be covering a very important topic. It's the weekend, so I don't want to cover too much of technicals. Markets are kind of not having a proper direction. From a technical standpoint, it looks more bearish, but it seems that Bitcoin is being supported at 18,300, or at least recovered above. It went slightly below 18,000 and then started to recover. Ethereum did even break or breach $500. From a technical standpoint, it looked bearish, but it seems that the price is relatively supported as well. So I want to have a little bit of a story time for the weekend rather than showing people all the technicals all the time. So kind of hear me out. So I have a story where I used to play Magic the Gathering, or at least this very, very popular collectible card game back in the day. And I deeply regret not building positions in that particular game. Now, you must be wondering, who would have thought, right, that a hobby would be worth billions of dollars in terms of market cap at this point of time? Now, I would safely say that the market cap for Magic the Gathering could easily be anywhere from 1 to 5 billion. Easily, okay? It's not a small, it's not really a very small, game, because the Black Lotus itself is already, depending on whether is it alpha or beta, can be anywhere from 25,000 per piece to 50 to 60,000 on a raw card. Obviously, graded cards where they are graded BGS 9.5 and above, the prices are six figures, right? So that being said, of course, it's very well known in Europe, the US, UK, and of course in Asia. It's popular, but it's not popular from a vintage standpoint or the legacy standpoint. Legacy, I would say, is popular, but I think from a vintage standpoint, it is less popular, because I think the prices are just so crazy at the moment, right, that not many people can afford to even attain these cards. So the story begins very simply, right? You had the chance to build positions in Ethereum, you had the chance to build positions in Bitcoin 3 to 4 years ago, okay? And because there was so much fear, FUD, right? And the fear and FUD is very normal. I'm not here to kind of make you feel bad. I'm part of that market as well. I know exactly how it felt, because at the time, crypto, okay, you had exchanges, right? You're wondering whether you could even use this exchange, because the Mt. Gox stories would always resurface. And Mt. Gox was actually a Magic the Gathering online exchange before it converted into a full service to provide the buying and selling of BTC, okay? And Magic the Gathering was basically a very well established game, launched and released by Wizards of the Coast, created by Wizards of the Coast, the company of Wizards of the Coast got bought over by Hasbro. From there, that exchange was providing players to be able to buy and sell, obviously either online tickets to buy the cards for the virtual versions, and they probably accepted BTC as payment. Or the back history is, they basically converted all that to purely buying and selling crypto, because they realized, or at least Bitcoin in particular, they realized obviously the revenue was much better, the margins were better. But because of the lack of infrastructure, right, and obviously the greed factor, it caused a lot of panic, and in the end, the whole exchange just basically probably defrauded a lot of folks, right? And till this very day, there are people who are still asking for their Bitcoin back. Now I know that there is already a settlement there's already settlement that's happening already, so that's a very good thing. But it took so long, guys. It took many years before that happened. Now, that's the backstory. Fast forward 2020. Okay, I think I want to be able to stress how important it is to have a good mindset when it comes to investing. I know a lot of people love trading crypto because it's just faster. Okay, it's just faster to trade crypto. You are taking profit pretty regularly, and at the same time that profit could be used to pay off your bills or your monthly liabilities or just having spare cash on hand. Nothing wrong with this strategy, but I feel that I need to emphasize more on the doubling down and building deep money positions, because when you fail to build deep money positions, right, when you look back, okay, when you look back, you're gonna say, wow, I really wish I have so many people reaching out to me right now in 2020, end of 2020, telling me I should have stuck with you, Ryan. I should have really just stuck with you and built the position in Ethereum, built the position in Bitcoin or whatever, or whatever altcoin, right? Now altcoins are a different story, but there are certain altcoins that have been doing pretty well, even though during this complete bearish scenario where only BTC and Ethereum are doing well, right? Look at XRP. XRP is a very good example, right? XRP, there are people who bought at the high above $1, but if they had stayed the course and didn't waver from their XRP dollar cost averaging strategy during the whole down period, they had a good 2.5 years to accumulate XRP at a very cheap price. And of course, recently, really recently, XRP went up to about 68 cents, which is not bad. I think it's hovering about 50 over cents at the moment, which is not bad. They doubled their investment, and they probably even broke even from even buying. If they really went too crazy above $1, then obviously it's very hard for you to break even or for you to be in profit. But if you had diligently bought during the bearish period, you're making money. So that's a very good example. Same thing. The same example would be for Ethereum. Ethereum went to a high of 1,000, I think $1,001 to $1,200 back in 2017. Okay, and the market, of course, everything was obliterated, right? As in, it lost easily 90%. Now Bitcoin went to a close to 20,000, went all the way down to $3,000 to $4,000, right? So at that point of time, you're already thinking, wow, should I even still be in this space? It's so speculative. I already lost a whole chunk of my value. Should I even be here? So that's the question, right? Should we still continue on this path? And with whatever that is coming out, okay, with the infrastructure that you've seen, with whether or not, and it's also very country specific. That's why it's not easy, guys. It's really not easy, because every country approaches the digital asset space very differently, and how it rewards, remains neutral, or punishes its citizens, right, will determine your long-term mindset. Do you really feel it's global? Firstly, you have to ask yourself, is this global, right? At the same time, when I am buying a digital currency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever, does it benefit me? Or is it going to be too much of an uphill hurdle for me to continue buying all these things for me? Is it going to cause me to be behind my payments, right? Is it going to cost me like at night when I sleep, the volatility really gets to me? Now, if most of all these things are a negative, you shouldn't touch it. I be very frank, you shouldn't touch it, because it causes you too many negatives in your life, right? Whereas if opposed to you being financially sound, okay, you have already you have a well-paying job, or a great paying job that covers all the liabilities. Your family is well taken care of. You don't have to worry about money, and you have this liquid cash sitting around, literally doing nothing. Then you know that, okay, if I'm gonna be parking my funds into Ethereum right now at the current price point, 555 US dollars, you're not going to be concerned. You're not going to lose sleep. you're not feeling stressed, right? You can still go out, have fun with friends, of course, in the current environment, right? Whether or not you can or cannot. As long as there are more positives to doing so, that's where you start doing it. You don't care too much about whether or not it's the technical all-time high. You don't care about it because you are not here to really speculate. You're looking at the long term. So now I want to reverse a little bit back to my Magic the Gathering story. I'm going to show you some cards that I wish I had just bought when they were less than $100. So this is the City of Brass. So I'm gonna go very, very quickly. City of Brass used to be like a card in the Arabian Nights, okay, at that time. Okay, Arabian Nights at that time. And this card to this day, right now, is selling for easily 400 US dollars. Okay, this is 400 US dollars today. At the time, this card was less than $10. This was less than $10, guys. Okay, I only have 4 pieces. The Beta Tundra, okay, the Beta Tundra used to be less than, I think, less than $50. Nobody wanted these, okay, nobody wanted these because everybody wanted to play the monsters or the large creatures that were cooler. Nobody really knew the value of these things, right? This was less than $50. Today, the Beta Tundra is 2,400 US dollars in today's price. Now, the more important one, and I want to give this a little bit of a bit of attention. The Beta Underground Sea, okay, legit Beta Underground Sea, signed by Rob Alexander. Same thing, less than 100 US dollars. This was back 10 years ago, okay? This was 10, 20 years ago. This card to this very day sells easily for 4,500 US dollars, okay? This was 4,500 US dollars, okay? Guys, that's why I'm telling you, when you want to suddenly go back and search for history, you know what I mean? When you want to look and search for history, you deeply regret why you didn't build those positions. And I regret having held them in my hands, or at least knowing about the game. But because I didn't have any vision, because I was a kid, right? I was a teenager, a young teenager that barely had enough money. So forgive me for not being able to have that vision, right? And for us to even get the pricing for these cards was to wait once a month for a magazine called Inquest to just know about the price once a month, right? Because at that time it was dial up. I wasn't like well to do to have a computer or whatever. I had a computer, but it was just like, the online space or the online market for knowing about prices for Magic the Gathering was non-existent. And I'm in Singapore, guys, so it's not like, in the US, where the game originated from, where you have the local game stores being able to interact and identifying the market, because you need to identify the market and mastering the market, okay? Because if you are not sensitive to the tone, to the movement, right, of what people want, that's why whenever I'm watching content, right, or whenever I'm conversing with my group, I really listen to what people are saying. I'm not there to like always give my opinions, because I prefer to hear from them what they like, what are they fearful of, what's good, So when I listen to what they have to say, I kind of also absorb that information and make a decision on whether to buy, hold, or sell, right? A large part of when we're in a market, especially a very liquid, fluid market that you are trading, you need to be sensitive to all these things. And at that time, I didn't know about all this kind of stuff. I was just a kid who wanted to play the game and enjoy myself, right? So it gives me a lot of joy today, even though I'm paying these prices. It's still worth it. So brings me to another point. You think that Ethereum, Bitcoin are now unreasonable prices. Unreasonable because I could have bought it at 9. Same thing. If I thought exactly the same thing, that I could have bought these cards at the prices that I did 20 years ago, it will make more sense. But in reality, it will never go back to those prices. It's the same thing. If you keep hoping that Ethereum will go down to $100, $200, it's not going to happen. Okay? If you think that Bitcoin is going to go back down to below $4,000 to $5,000, it's not going to happen, because there will be always people who are willing to pay the higher price. So the reality is that, yes, you have to really take the courage to find means and ways, especially if you're not at the financial capability to buy Bitcoin at that current price, or you're not able to buy Ethereum at the current prices. If you want to be part of this space, you really have to adapt and build up the funds so that you can, or at least reach to a financial situation that you can dedicate funds and money, the good thing, funds and money, into buying these two cryptocurrencies in particular. Now, that's why I'm going back to that whole theory. Is it going to give you joy? Because BTC and Ethereum are price growth, store of value, being part of a bigger economical picture, you know what I mean? Whereas when I hold these cards in my hand, I feel a lot of joy, because it brings me back to a time when I'm having fun, I'm playing with my friends, and to this very day, I'm still having fun playing with my friends. You get what I'm saying? So I have so much attachment to this compared to crypto. I'll be very, very honest. Although I understand markets, trading and everything, collectibles, especially these, give me a lot of joy. And that is why I don't mind sinking money into them. It's not just because of the dollar value growth. It's really not. There's no staking. There's no rental income coming from, passive income coming from all this. Nothing. And to be frank, it could always just go to zero. It could always just go to zero for no rhyme or reason, because suddenly maybe all the old fogies are dead. Because it's a 27-year-old game, guys. People who are in this era are relatively old. They're 40, 50, even 60 years old, potentially. Because if they had the money to build positions in Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, they are relatively old, guys. Okay, I'm already 38 years old, 39 next year. So the thing is, the youth right now are going to be building a very different asset. It could be digital art. It could be virtual items. That's why the NFT space is going to be very, very interesting. You may think when you look at the NFT space, what am I buying? Like, these are all digital art. Okay, they are all floating on the blockchain. Yes, you can verify that this artist actually drew this, and I'm owning a piece of, and to support this artist, I'm buying their art. And it's a different economy. I don't know whether it's for me. I'm open to it, but I don't know whether I'll purchase it, because I still prefer the physical. So all these things, right, are about you also continuously adapting and identifying what's out there in the space. But at the same time, you need to build your long-term positions in things that you believe in and give you the most joy. I think a lot of people, especially in this space and especially during this time, I hope you haven't forgotten about what makes you happy. Because a lot of times, investing seems relatively boring on most times, but there are people who genuinely like the statistics and the numbers. For me, I trade, I also invest, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to build back and buy time for things that I've lost. I never had the money like a lot of my other friends who are, better well off because they have, just richer parents, obviously, or they were just more hardworking in the sense that they were willing to study and get a part-time job. So they built positions in Magic the Gathering, and you are so impressed. Like, you see that these people are hustlers. They hustle to work and get money so that they can build their dream. So I didn't know all these things until very much later, and I decided that right now, this is my hustle. And I hope that, today's episode kind of gives you a little bit of what you should be doing or how you should go about doing it, whether it's in crypto, whether it's in collectibles, whether it's in the stock market, whatever asset class or alternative asset class. It has to eventually come full circle that it gives you some element of joy. All right, guys. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. That's all for story time. See you in the next video.